Good morning. We're picking up with Obstruction, Hexagram number 12, in the readings from the Tao of Organization by Thomas Cleary. I think one of the most prolific translators, not just on I Ching, but on a whole variety of subjects. Anything that even remotely has to do with spirituality, a lot of history, has tremendous context in Thomas Cleary's work. I highly recommend it. If you are a student of I Ching, add Thomas Cleary's work to your library. You can also add my work to your library, the Ching Ecology, a book on meditation, identity, and economics. And my book is becoming more and more relevant. Published a while ago, 2013, but the subject of economics is becoming far more mainstream, finally, in that an economic system has an inherent morality to it. So we're seeing that being challenged presently by its own volition, as all debt-based societies eventually go down this path. So at any rate, it affects our identity and our sense of self, our sense of security, and that creates all kinds of excitements, we shall say. So here in Obstruction, we're in the fourth yang, so entering into the top part of the hexagram. If there is a command, there is no blame. Companions cleave to felicity. So at the lower three lines of this hexagram, there's lots of contentions, uncertainties, and so on, such as obstruction, that inner life. This is a time of immense decision-making. But here, as we move into the yang half of obstruction, the fourth line is positive, firm, and strong, and in a position near the leadership. This represents people who have the talent to resolve obstruction and who have attained high rank. They are able to assist superiors in solving obstruction. I call this play your position. Know your position. You may have good ideas about how to solve the problem in front of you. However, it may not be your position to do so. How do you handle the information you have? Who do you give that information to? The text continues. However, when the course of action of leadership is obstructed, what is to be avoided by those who are in such a position near the leadership is bringing on resentment by presuming upon achievement. Right? Play your position. Know what to do. Support the people who actually have the authority to make decisions. If they can have all actions proceed from the command of the leadership and let all authority vest in those above, then there is no blame, and their aims are carried out. So you may have goals, or you could see the way through obstruction for the group you are a part of. But if you forward that and presume that you are correct, people will kind of go, maybe later. Like, it creates a sense of discomfort. So even though you may see the best strategy socially, playing it out is much different. It's not so black and white, cut off and quick. If they can cause all affairs to proceed from the command of the leadership, it is thereby possible to solve obstruction. So it's not quite like being worm-tongue in the king's ear, where you're like, hey, do this. You know, it's more gently providing information. You know, you grant those above you the objectivity to make up their own minds. And if you have good information, and if you're in the habit of gathering good information and relaying good information at the right time to the right people, there's always a bit of hanging back. You know, here's what I know. Right. Their companions all cleave to their felicity. So yes, naturally people move towards those who have authority and decision-making power. When the way of developed people is carried out, then they go forth with their peers to solve the world's obstructions. Well, wouldn't that be nice, right? That takes a while to get to have that sense of trust and be on a true team. The advancement of small people is also the same as that of their own peers. So I find that an interesting facet that this line of this hexagram ends on. It's like there's, okay, here's the position you want to be. You want to be in a position where you have good information, especially in a time of obstruction. Lord knows the world's in a time of obstruction, right? So what is the information you have? Is it actually good information, or are you just bullshitting yourself? And then who can you relay that information to? What's of value? How do you protect it? That's where that descriptor there is to me to have a very good aim in life. Compared to this last warning here, the advancements of small people is also the same as that of their own peers. So keeping your own sense of information in check. That's also part of the hanging back, looking for the right time, awaiting for the right opportunity with the right person. That prudence creates trust for others in yourself, that you can be reliable to offer the information you have when called upon. This makes you valuable, as opposed to blurting out whatever, whenever, to whomever. And it's like, oh, a bit of a wild card. These problems, I think, that I'm describing are the problems of younger persons, testing themselves in the world. That true prodigy is rare, unfortunately. If we could all be prodigies, well, God, what an irritating world that would be. Everybody telling each other, but no, this is how it's done. Anyway, the fifth yang, so the real good stuff. In fact, I think we'll save it for another video, just to keep these a little short. Write me with questions, contact me, consult I Ching, and contact me. Love to work with you through your questions and interpreting the hexagrams and this moment in time. This is my favorite thing to do, and watch for me on TikTok as well. More to come. Meditate daily.